Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Judy Ann Kellaway, and I am the Associate Dean for Admissions and Outreach here at the Long School of Medicine. And I am here with you today to update our interview process information. You might have looked at some old videos. We have a couple of changes for you this cycle. Let me start by saying we have two big overriding principles. If you've seen any of the other Interview Day channel videos, this is mentioned frequently because they guide us. One is transparency. There is so much information. We try to give you all the information that we can. Um, we've got information in all kinds of places, so please explore the links, our website, the other things that you may get along the way so that you are completely informed. We think when you're informed, that might help with the second overriding principle. And that overriding principle is that we want to try to calm your nerves. We want to reduce anxiety as much as possible. So, um, we want it to be a friendly, inviting experience for you. This admission cycle is a year or more than a year long, which means all of your fear and anxiety is lasting way too long. But if we can feed information to you and tell you, please just relax about it, good things are happening and um, you've done what you need to do, and we'll see all those beautiful things that we've done. So try to relax and enjoy the process. Everybody should be enjoying this. We enjoy it on our side. You should be proud of yourself and enjoying it on your side too. We have one new thing I'll mention up front for our cycle process, and that is an AI module. So your information is very secure. We use our tried and true admission software. And so institutionally and with that program, everything is very secure. But I think you'll want to know also that nothing in that AI module is replacing the human effort. Okay. There are not going to be screening decisions or acceptance decisions or anything like that, ranking or all those things. None of that will be made or even suggested by AI. We're hoping that some, like down the road, we will see that it improves our consistency and makes things consistent and fair for each one of you. Mostly it's going to draw out for us items from your application. You've got 20 or 30 pages each of you, and we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to miss anything good. So we're hoping that the module can help us with that in particular. But do not worry, you have human beings, experienced human beings on our admissions committee and the rest of the interviewers and such looking at your information with experienced human eyes and brains. So please don't worry about it. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out and let us know what those are, and we will put your mind at ease. Okay, let's start with the screening process. So we have thousands of applications already and have begun to look at applications. And we we need to complete and to start reviewing your application. We need your completed application from TMDSAS and your MCAT score. We do not need at this point in time your letters of recommendation. They come along quite quickly though, so that's usually not an issue. As soon as we receive your application, even if it's without the MCAT score yet, we will send you an automated email from our AMP system. And that says you are in the screening process. We get a lot of questions about this. What's my status? What's my status? And we have one status that remains in place until you're invited for interview. But we can't do this very quickly. We're looking at thousands of applications, right? So you might submit your application to TMBSAS, and then it gets transmitted in August, and we invite you for an interview in December. That's just how it happens. There's a lot of buzz about that on Student Doctor Network. When did you submit and all that? It just doesn't work in a chronological way, and we don't receive your application and say no or receive your application and say yes. We continue to look at the whole pool as the applicant pool is building. And so your application is screened and rescreened and rescreened a number of times throughout this whole cycle. And we don't stop the review, so that that one status is in review. Your application is in review throughout the whole cycle. We continue that until all the interview spots are filled, which is going to be in December. So we're reviewing all along. We don't complete and invite our 1,000 applicants for interview in the first like month or two of the cycle. So that's your status. Hang in there. I know it's too long. We're working on that too. So you should keep in mind too that we look at your application in an holistic way. So we look at your metrics and your strong academics. We look at your experiences and what you've done to learn about medicine. How we look at what you've done to serve others. We look at your research and discovery. We look at your leadership. We look at everything. We look at what you're trying to achieve and learn in the pre-med and medical space, but also just in your personal endeavors also. So it's a very holistic review. Um, who are we looking for? We are looking for, let me give you a few examples. There are many, many videos on the Pre-Med Club YouTube channel, so go check those videos out for more detailed information. But we're looking for people who've gone out into the world to learn about medicine, to serve others, to explore what other people are like, people not like you particularly, right? People of the world. We're looking for people who are kind and generous and gracious and professional. That's a big with a capital P. Professional, humble, industrious, creative, curious, all those things, all those good things. There's an array. And there's an array for each of you. Nobody is going to look alike. You're all as individualized as your fingerprints. So we're looking to see what you've done with your opportunities, and how you are ready for medical school. Okay. So we don't have any minimums. We don't have a menu that we need this many hours of leadership or this many activities, this many hours in healthcare and community service. We don't have anything like that. We don't have in our picture, um, in our minds, one way that a pre-med, a competitive applicant to long school medicine should look, because y'all are all very unique and wonderful in your own ways. And there are so many ways that you're going to be an exceptional physician. And so that's what we're looking for. All of the things that stand out, make you stand out. So we're we're looking through all of these, and when we do offer an invitation to interview, you'll get an email generated from the system. In that email is a lot of good information that you're going to need down the road. So you might hang on to that information. It's full of links and connections and how to get more information. It includes parts of the screening process or interview process that we will need. So it will give you the Casper link and some information about Casper, because upon invitation to interview, we'll ask you to do the Casper and the SOVI. The Casper, let me do one of those at a time. The Casper is a situational judgment test. It's kind of like an MMI. You are asked to solve some problems. People will be in a scenario and in a predicament, and then you get to say how you would manage this predicament. What's your solution? And we've got lots of like information, training sorts of information for you on the Pre-Med Club channel. Look under the interview videos. And Casper has a lot of good information for you too. So it is a tool that you can prepare for and that you should prepare for. Um, what else do I want to say? Yes, it's like an MMI. So all of these things are the preview. All of these things are situational judgment tests, looking at your problem solving, your communication, your attention to different people's perspective in the scenario. Okay, so those are some of the training items you'll hear about when you pursue that. We use Casper impressionistically, meaning it's one of a great many pieces of information. It's an important piece because it's telling you it's not a personality test. It's not like a Facebook or Instagram, what kind of fruit are you today? It's not a test like that. It tells us who you are and where your strengths are. Do you have strengths in communication, equity, problem solving, motivation, um, all of the collaboration, all kinds of things, all of those personal attributes that we mentioned before? It's finding those in your responses. Um, so we use it impressionistically, meaning as one piece of information. If we see some weak areas, but we point out a strong Casper, that means something. And if we usually use all of these things in a positive way. Like, we do not use the Casper tool to screen anybody out at all, ever, because that's one day, one test, one item that we have, and we have so many other things to look at in your application, so many other pieces of information, hundreds of pieces of information. We do, however, screen in on the basis of the Casper score. So by mid-cycle, a lot of you are already have already completed your Casper. So if we haven't reached out to you yet for an invitation to interview and you have a very high Casper score, yeah, we might screen you in and invite you to interview on the basis of that score. So that's kind of fun. What else do I want to tell you? You may know this already, but you get a report on your score, and it is reported to you in quartiles. So some people ask and worry about the lower quartiles, and you shouldn't worry about that because that is one piece of information among so many. So don't worry if you're in one of those lower quartiles. That is not going to weigh heavily. High weighs a little bit more, right? Um, so that's the Casper. And oh, the other thing I need to tell you is, if you get an invitation from us to interview and instructions about the Casper, but you have already spent your good money on the preview, we will accept that situational judgment test from the AAMC in lieu of the Casper. Okay, so we just want to save you hassle and money, and we don't want you to pay for two different things. We'll look at your preview score in that situation. And then other thing you're asked to do when you are invited to interview is the SOVI, the standardized one-way video interview. It's really a little presentation. And we have some information for you in that tool. You'll get a link to the Spark Hire site where you will record answers to two questions, two simple questions. We don't have any hidden questions. We don't have any hidden agenda. We don't have any things we're trying to trip you up on. So the questions are something like, what have you learned in service to others? Because all of you have reached out and in service and sacrifice to others. So we want to know what you learned from that. And the other question is, what's an accomplishment that you're very proud of? So those are the two questions, and you can do many, many takes on that video. It's just 2 minutes that we want. It should kind of be a professional presentation. You shouldn't read from a script to us. We would like it to be sort of a professional presentation, and if you can do that off the cuff, that's fine. But if you want to read about it, look at all of the intro stuff, and then take a week to prepare or wait for a good hair day, you can go back to the site and start recording your responses to those questions. You might need some thinking time. We don't need you to think on your feet or instantaneously for the answers to these questions. We want the information from you and to see how you can do a little bit of a professional presentation. So you can take notes with you. You can take a million takes and discard them and come back and use one that you feel good about, and then we'll see those responses in the SOBI. Please do it. Please don't be a professional. Please don't make us chase after you to get that done. It's required by the committee. I should tell you too, the reason we started doing this a few years ago is we had so many committee members saying, boy, I wish you could have met this person. They are outstanding. We had such a great conversation. And so this is a way for all of us to see you, to see you sort of in person and sort of in person, but in action and talking to us about the highlights of your journey. So it's a very positive thing. Don't forget to smile. And and please don't make us chase after you to get it completed. Okay. All right. Interview days this year run from August the 22nd through December the 19th. Most of those are, we have 20 days. Most are Fridays. We have 3 Tuesdays that we will use. And we'll talk about the agenda for the interview day in another video. I don't want any of these to be too long. Um, but your interview day will run from about, I would say, 8:30. Show up early. That's part of your professional with a capital P behavior. It'll run from about 8:30 to 1 o'clock, and we have optional sessions every week. We'll talk about that more in the next video. But after interview day, a lot of people say, what happens? What happens after interview? Well, so first, we have a wonderful time with you. Our interviewers and I and the A team all enjoy interacting with you on those interview days. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's and work for you too. But it's a lot of fun we're having during interview days. Your interviewers will write up reports about all of the great things they learned about you, and they will put those with your application package and all of the materials that go in there. And then on Wednesday, 5 days later, following that Tuesday or Friday, then if your ears are burning, it's because we're talking about you and all of the good things that we see in your um, path to medicine. So that's when committee meetings are, and we don't we just accumulate a lot of information. We're not ranking everybody. We've got 1,000 people to interview, so we're assessing you, and the most important thing that stands out to us is pieces of your journey. It's not a number. It's not your MCAT. It's not your GPA. It's not even solely your interview report scores. It's what it is the comments that your interviewers and the rest of the admissions committee members have put into your package. And they'll say rock star and this person is awesome, and listen to what they did, so that we constantly go back and look at pieces of your story. And those are the most important things to us. So we don't use numbers to rank people or offer the acceptances, things like that. We're looking at the highlights of your journey. The next thing that comes along, I guess, is the pre-match offer period. You probably know that Long School of Medicine is not pre-match heavy. Or I'm talking about Texas residents right now. And if you're out-of-staters, we love our out-of-staters too. And there's a video with that title. So go check that out. But for people who are going to enter in the match, those are our Texas residents. So pre-match offers. We may make offers of acceptance before the match comes along, and we don't do very many. We certainly do not fill our class with 200 and something acceptances through the pre-match offer period, or yes, that offer period, and which goes from mid-October through before the match in January. So we will make some offers along the way there, with no intent to fill our class. There are so many outstanding people who will get offers from us a little bit later. So don't worry about that, please. A piece of this, professionally speaking, in all of these phases, people offer you these acceptances. We want you, we would love to keep you, but you will have choices in the matter. And sometimes you will choose Long School of Medicine, and sometimes you'll choose another school. For all the schools, I would ask you, please, once you've made your decision and you really are sort of secure in that decision, you don't have to wait for the match. We have some people waiting, holding on to numerous acceptances, and that sort of puts a delay in the whole process. So if you know where you want to go, I think you let people know that, and give up those acceptances that you're not going to stick with. Okay. We hate to see you go, but that's the professional thing to do, is not hang on to that for months and months. Then comes the match, and the match is in mid-February. and you will get a notice about 2 weeks, usually prior, to turn in your ranked list. I had the TMDSAS site itself has a couple of very good videos about how the match works. You should put in a dream list, and the match process is the same one that we use for residency. The 20,000 medical schools in the country that are getting residency matches every March. This is the same computer formula, essentially, and which works for the preference and benefit of the applicant in all of the steps that occur there. So keep that in mind, make a dream list, make a purposeful list. There will be some feelings like this is right in my gut, but you should also look at the details that make it feel so right inside, in your heart or gut. We will, with the invitation to interview, we will send out a matrix. If you're interested, just let me know. We'll share it. It's probably linked to some video somewhere. But it's a medical school matrix created by a medical student when he was an applicant. And it has a list of all kinds of items that you could compare about the schools to see what stands out for you in this school or that school. So just let us know and we'll share that with you ahead of time, but it'll come with your interview invitation. Where am I? Match. So yeah, match day happens and it is so great for so many people. Um, and still, we get tons of phone calls and emails. I didn't match. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How should I prepare for a reapplication? And I'm here to tell you that all of the schools have a huge turnover from mid-February through and into June, so you're still in the game. There will still be turnover as people get other offers from other schools in state and out of state. So hang in there. It's not over until I would say mid-June or so. Okay. So hang in there. That's the match. That's the weight pool period. We do not have a ranked list for our weight pool. So we call it a pool instead of a list. But I think that's enough for you today, or for this chunk of information. We'll get into the more of the agenda of interview day in the next video. So I'll see you in a minute. And take care. Good luck. Keep doing good things. You're on the right track. I'm quite sure. Can't wait to look at your applications. See you next time. Bye.